Hello everyone and welcome to a slightly different video from what I usually do and from what Crab Studios usually does. But it's going to be a video about a series of announcements that the company and myself have related to games which are currently out, games which are in production, and just a whole manner of stuff. So hopefully you enjoy, and yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, we already posted a Kickstarter update about it and put it in Discord, but just to mention it here, Fatal Knockout is going to be starting manufacturing within the next week, which is really exciting. We were currently just waiting on the final balancing patch, which is based on all the data which we gathered from the Fatal Knockout League. So during the mid-season break, which is just about to commence as this video goes live, we'll be making some minor changes to a couple of fighters, and then we're going to be locking in the game forever. That'll be the final balancing patch that we'll do. But once that's done, the files will be sent off to the manufacturer, and we are also in talks with the distributor, which we were always going to go with. We even put it on the Kickstarter, which was ShipQuest. We've started the process of getting everything in order, ready, so that when manufacturing is done, all the games are sent to the various warehouses to make sure that shipping is friendly, so you don't have to worry about getting an invoice for custom fees or anything like that, and it should all go smoothly from there. So there we go, Fatal Knockout update. However, just to stay on the Fatal Knockout trend for a couple of more updates, we are planning on launching another expansion for Fatal Knockout. This will be called the Fatal Knockout High Rollers expansion. So the Fatal Knockout High Rollers expansion will be very similar to the Oddities expansion, in which it'll be a fighter pack expansion. Yes, another 4 fighters will be entering the roster, and they are all manners of wacky. So if you are up to date with the tabletop simulator version of Fatal Knockout, then you will know that 2 of the fighters in this expansion are already playable and have been for a couple of months now. These are Bossman and Dancer. Now these are just working titles. We'll eventually do a vote, probably in Discord, to choose their first names or their pseudonyms. So with 2 fighters already announced, that means that there are 2 fighters yet to be announced. And today in this video, we are going to be announcing the next fighter. And that fighter is the Gambler. The Gambler is really interesting. The first thing that you'll notice about their cards is that they have no initiative number. Now, if you're familiar with Fatal Knockout, you know that that's pretty paramount for, playing the game at all. But what's cool about the Gambler is that you do get initiative numbers on the cards, but you actually roll d12s at the start of the planning phase, and then you assign those dice to cards when you place them down. The number on the dice equates to the initiative number of the card. However, there is another caveat to the system as well. You'll notice on the cards that all mix-ups have a requirement, and that requirement is that the initiative number needs to be a certain number or higher. That means that the same card, which might have an attack as the first action step, would most likely, as a second action step, have some movement. So if you're not right next to the enemy which you're trying to hit, then you'll be wanting to have an initiative number higher than what it says on the card in order to be able to unlock that movement and use it before the attack. Finally, there's one more interesting thing about this guy. You can actually, very much like Sly, use burn tokens in more than one way. With Gambler, you can actually use burn tokens to re-roll dice. So if you're not super happy about the dice which you got, you can re-roll them, get fresh ones, and as long as you got burn tokens, you can keep doing this any number of times. So yeah, that's the Gambler. The Gambler will be heading to the tabletop simulator version of the game at the end of the Fatal Knockout League season. So there is one more fighter to announce, but what we're going to do is we're going to save that announcement for another time, though what I will say is that they are even more insane than the Gambler, so hopefully looking forward to that. The final thing to announce regarding the High Rollers expansion is the launch date. So, one thing that I can confirm, and most people probably could have guessed this, is that Fatal Knockout High Rollers will be coming to Kickstarter and will require your guys' backing in order for it to be funded so we can manufacture it. In terms of the date, what I'm going to give you is March 2024. We can't give you an exact date right now because that might change, but we are very confident that we'll be able to get it on Kickstarter next year during the month of March. So moving a bit back from that, we are next going to talk about another game which we're going to announce. So this game is a game not designed by me. It's a completely new IP, and it's from a genre which we have never entered before. And that game is Natalie Jones's Biomass. Now, Biomass is a tense area control war game. Become one of 4 asymmetric biomorphs, each uniquely adapted to hunt and survive in this beautiful and strange alien landscape. Gather biomass by hunting prey and investigating strange monuments. Spend your resources on a wealth of rotating powers and units, and fight tooth and claw for territory and ultimately victory. Biomass is going to be a 3 to 4 player game. It's going to play roughly in between 60 and 90 minutes, and it's going to be for ages 14 plus. Now, as you can see as well, we got some beautiful artwork on display by Mila. Very, very happy with how the game looks. It's probably going to be our prettiest game yet. But don't let that fool you, because the gameplay in this, the minute-to-minute gameplay, is absolutely brutal. I think that anybody who plays this game is going to have a lot of fun, and they're going to be really enjoying competing with their friends to see who can get the most land. So, as I said before, we're working backwards. That means that Biomass is actually going to be launching earlier than Fatal Knockout High Rollers. And again, I'm going to give you a month, not quite a date just yet, but it is going to be this year in November, and it's going to be launching on Kickstarter. Biomass is available right now on Tabletop Simulator for you to play. We're really hoping that you enjoy it, and if you do, consider backing the Kickstarter. And now we move on to the final update, again moving backwards from Biomass. Now this is something, it's a project that I've really been looking forward to. I've been excited every time I get an update from Fodsley, who's the artist of Fatal Knockout. And I can't wait for people to see this, to read this, and overall just be really excited about it, hopefully as much as I am. And that is the first Fatal Knockout Extended Universe comic. So this comic is going to be called Project Zero. It is going to be a serialized issue-based series, but it is only going to be a mini-series, and we're not going to be carrying this on for, tens of issues. What I can tell you about the story is that it follows straight on from the cinematic, which was at the start of the Fatal Knockout Kickstarter trailer. So if you want to get a refresher on that, go over and watch it. But yeah, it happens, well, the comic starts off with the fight between Zero and Mercury during the 23rd annual Fatal Knockout tournament. Another character which I can confirm for this series is going to be Dr. Vivera. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much, but these two characters do have history. They do have a connection there. They have a relationship which is definitely worth exploring. Once again, I am incredibly excited just to be able to read this comic myself. Even though I wrote it, I'm just really excited to be able to read this comic myself and get a physical copy in my hands, and it's going to be really cool. But in terms of release dates, this is going to be very soon. So the release date, I can say now, is September 19th. And it's going to be coming to Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter is going to help fund the first 3 issues of the series. Now, when the Kickstarter goes live, we are going to be providing the first few pages of the comic in a PDF format to read for free. However, the Kickstarter will be primarily focused on people backing it in order to get physical versions of the comic. And that about wraps it up. So we have the Fatal Knockout High Rollers expansion coming out in March 2024. We have the Biomass Kickstarter coming out in November 2023. And then we also have the Fatal Knockout comic, being Project Zero, coming out in just over a month's time on Kickstarter as well. So hopefully you guys are excited. I'm super stoked. If you're in the Discord, please let me know what you think about these updates. I'm available to answer any and all questions, and if you're watching this on YouTube, just give us a comment in the comment section below. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this update, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.